original members of the Hawkeye Express.
And what memories we have in those early years with tailgating with the Hawkeye Express and across from the stadium early on before the university hospitals took over our grassy area. Road trips, our 40th birthdays with the Hawkeye Express, Rose Bowl, of course, with Hayden Fry. What a trip that was to remember.
When we moved to Kansas City in 1982, we promised Pam and the rest of the Hawkeye Express that we would not lose touch and we'd always be Hawkeyes.
And we continued coming to one, maybe two games a year, every year, kept our season tickets and kept our promise to Pam and the Hawkeye Express. And we'd always come back to Kansas City and tell our friends about our trips. They were KU fans, but the more we talked about it, the more it seemed like, well, and we invite them to come with us some year.
30 years ago, two couples took us up on an invitation to experience Iowa football. So off we trekked in RV, motorhome, whatever would work, to enjoy those first football games together. No matter what the weather, we made it work. It was either nice and sunny or it was a little frosty. But we always had a great time before, during, and after the game. And especially after the game, one of those trips was partying in the Amanas with the Wisconsin Badgers. And of course, our friend Mary was always taking video that Pam said, we'll never see any of that.
She's rocking with the Oompa band.
But that's where we met Dorothy playing the accordion. And Doug sang along with her one night, the Schnitzelbank. And I think that's the song that we learned that night. So fun times.
So that was over 30 years, over the course of 30 years, those two couples, and you're going to meet them here in a minute, but two more couples joined us over the course of 30 years. They wouldn't miss their Iowa weekend. Early on, we would stay at the Kuiper farm, and Pam would come up on Friday night and drive back home and be ready for the game on Saturday. And it was always a pleasure to see her on Friday night and hear a joke and just hear her laugh on a Friday night at the farm.
And then the next day, up bright and early to get ready for that tailgate. Quite a process to get everything set up. There were tents and tables and flags and food, and it was all part of that incredible tailgate experience that made Hawkeye football so special and keep those friends coming back with us year after year.
Yeah, absolutely. After the game was over, what I remember is with Pam had 50-yard line seats, as most of you know, a big donor there in those years, and had seats right behind the Iowa bench. And so we'd come back from the game, and we would talk about plays. This play worked. This play didn't. Well, Pam said, wow, you remember in the third quarter when they went on 4th and 1, didn't make it? Boy, Hayden was really jawing on those guys on offense or whatever it might be. Pam always had the inside track. After the game, we were back in the parking lot. And those couples have their own memories of before and during and after the game as well, meeting Herky and things like that. And they wouldn't want to miss the chance to share their memories with Pam. And so, again, they wouldn't miss that Iowa weekend, and they wouldn't miss this chance to give their memories of Pam Imerman.
Hi, Joe and Marilyn here. We just wanted to give a shout out to Pam. We met Pam the first time in 1991, and Mark rented a gas-guzzling Winnebago, and that was our first Iowa trip. And I remember Pam well. We both do. She was so much fun and laughter contagious. So here's to you, Pam. We love you. We'll always miss you.
Miss you, Pam. Hi. We're Joe and Mary Roccasalva. We live in Kansas City, and we are part of the Kansas City Hawkeyes.
We wish we could be there with you today to celebrate Pam's life. And what a wonderful life it was. She was such a good person to everyone, and everyone dearly loved her. And she brought the fun. No matter if we were there to tailgate, we went several years to tailgate with the Hawkeyes in Iowa. And Pam was always at the tailgate. She was always at the after party, whether it be at a restaurant or the Wells, watching the game over again. We enjoyed her tremendously. She was such a good person, and we raise our glasses today to say we'll miss her. Cheers, Pam.
Hi, we're Jim and Susie Wolf, Lenexa, Kansas. The first time we came to Iowa was in the year 2000. Very memorable year, staying at Bonnie and Doug's farmhouse, playing barn basketball, and meeting for the first time Pamela.
Pam was so much fun from day one. I can tell you the thing that I remember the most about Pam is that hearty laugh. It's something that probably everybody's saying in their movie or their little video clip, but I'm telling you, it was so memorable and it was so much fun, and I was always so happy to see her. She always provided so much fun and so much laughter to everything we did.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, when we were at Bonnie and Doug's, at one point we heard some boisterous laugh, and I said, "Who was that?" And of course, the answer is Pam.
Mm-hmm.
She was a lot of fun to be with. She was a big Hawkeye fan, one of the biggest we know.
She was. And I loved her stories. She was such a good storyteller, and she'd tell us about the baseball players that stayed in her home. And you could tell how much she really enjoyed that, and I knew that they enjoyed her as well.
She did. And she was a fantastic driver at night. Particularly after having a few drinks.
She was just darn
last
lucky.
very fond memory is the escapade of her getting out of a ticket.
Yes. We were behind her. No, we were ahead of her.
We were
And
behind her, and we passed by.
we
She was
passed
pulled
by,
over.
and she was pulled over. We were so upset. We thought she was in big trouble. And I'll be doggone. Not a ticket or not any trouble whatsoever. She was good.
She's now with the Hawkeyes of old and Hawkeyes of new.
We'll surely miss you, Pam,
Very
forever.
much miss her.